Hi everybody, I wanted to give you a review of Bulgaria. If you visit Bulgaria as a tourist, I wanted to give you some information about it. So I'm originally from Bulgaria. I haven't lived there for a long time, but I grew up there, so I'm kind of I can give you an inside view about the country. Bulgaria is a touristy country. It's really popular with tourists. About 10 million tourists visit it every year, and the current population of Bulgaria is only 7 million. So there's a lot of people visiting Bulgaria. Um, the the good thing about Bulgaria is it's very affordable compared to the West, and also it has a lot of different types of tourism opportunities available. Most of the tourists visit Bulgaria during the summer on the Black Sea coast or during the winter in the winter resorts, which are located primarily in the south of the country, in the Rhodope Mountains primarily, but also maybe in Rio and Pirin as well. So if you're a tourist visiting Bulgaria and you're only going to the specific tourist destination, then you wouldn't have any concerns. I mean, typically the tourist areas are very safe, much safer than the general territory of Bulgaria, and especially if you're going to a very popular tourist destination, let's say like Sunny Beach, for example, or Pamporovo, then likely there are a lot of foreigners there. So, for the short time that you'll be there, I don't foresee that you'd have any problems. Um, the good thing about Bulgaria, as I mentioned, there's a lot of touristy opportunities. There's a lot of summer resorts on the Black Sea. Some of the ones that the foreigners go to are the most expensive, but there are also many other smaller ones that are cheaper, and typically a lot of Bulgarians go there. So there's really a resort for every budget. You can book your accommodation online or through a tour or something like that, but you can also book it by yourself or locally. Probably the prices on the internet are going to be more expensive. Maybe some prices, if you can check locally, might be cheaper, especially in the smaller types of hotels and things. Um, there's the I should mention that the mountain resorts can actually be are available for a visit also during the summer, and they're very nice, not only during the winter time but also summertime. They're gorgeous. The mountains in Bulgaria are covered with forests, so there's all kinds of trails and areas to explore, so it's very beautiful and very pristine. um, Bulgaria, not many people probably know that, but Bulgaria also has actually developed rural tourism. Rural tourism is really you visit an area where you can stay at a hotel that's in a kind of a rural area, but it can be in a mountainous area, and typically in that area people are kind of have more traditional lifestyle. So you can actually experience Bulgaria as a tourist that way. You don't have to go to a popular resort, because a lot of people nowadays are so busy and so stressed, and they're looking for an opportunity to go to like a rural area where they can experience a more traditional lifestyle. So Bulgaria actually has specific hotels, they're built up all over the country that you can go to and stay there, and they're not expensive, so you can have a really good time and relax and eat, organic food, and just experience the general area, and it's pretty good. um, Bulgaria also has wine tourism. Melnik is a town in Bulgaria located in the south. That's that's their primary industry. They produce a lot of wine there, and you can stay there, and you know they have very delicious food. It's famous all over Bulgaria, and they have really good wine. The city called is called Melnik. Um, Also, in general, we produce a lot of wine in Bulgaria, so I'm sure you can go to some vineyards and wineries and things like that, and do like a wine tasting if you're into that. There's a lot of them, so feel free to check them out. Um, but you know, surprisingly, at least that's my impression, a lot of tourists don't visit Bulgaria because of its historic and archaeological sites. I mean, some do, but as I mentioned, a lot of tourists visit Bulgaria because of its summer and ski resorts. But actually, Bulgaria is probably um, the oldest country in Europe in terms of its historical sites. They found Thracian ruins, for example, and other local people ruins even before Bulgaria was established that were like 8,000 years old. So there's a lot to see, a lot of historical sites and ruins, and they're constantly discovering new ones. So feel free to check them out. Some of them are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, where others are kind of, you know, not on that list, but they're still very good. There's a lot of cities that have these kind of ruins. Sofia, the capital, actually is one of the oldest cities in Bulgaria and in Europe, and it has a lot of ruins too. Plovdiv, in the middle of the country, the second biggest city, is also has some Roman ruins and some sites as well. But there are many other places where you can go, and also there's a lot of natural kind of phenomenon and sites as well. You can go up to the Belgrade Cheek rocks up in the northwest of the country, for example. There's a lot of different sites you can visit. My recommendation is to pick a general area of Bulgaria and just visit the sites in that specific area, because the sites are all over Bulgaria. Depending on how much time you have, of course, you can visit a lot all over the country, but if you have limited time, you know, just pick an area and just stay in that area and visit the sites there. Bulgaria is not that big, so maybe you can visit the whole country, but if you want to enjoy it, I'd recommend visiting one specific area. Bulgaria is about 500 kilometers in length and about 300, I think, or so in width. So it's not that big, but still, you gotta take into consideration that some of the territory of Bulgaria is mountainous. So it's if you try to go somewhere, it's not a straight line. Maybe you need to take like a secondary road, or maybe the road is winding, you know, through some mountains and stuff. So it's not a straight line. You know, it's not going to take you. If it's like 100 kilometers, it might not take you only 1 hour. Might take you a few more hours, because it's going through a remote area or mountainous area or something like that. All right. Bulgaria is 2.5 times safer than the U.S. in terms of the murder rate. So it's not dangerous. It's not a dangerous country. In terms of other types of statistics for crimes, and things like that, I didn't check specifically the actual rates, but just be aware of, pickpockets, especially in big cities and in like train stations and in downtown areas where there's markets and a lot of like crowd, gathered together. and just lock your door of your hotel room or your apartment or house, and lock your car. Don't leave any valuables inside your car. Just some common sense precautions you need to take care of. Other than that, you should be good. I should mention, I'm not here to only give positive things about a country, including my own country. I want to be realistic and give people like the real thing. If you're a white person, if you come from Europe, or um, most people in the US and Canada and South America, at least in some countries, are predominantly white. There's no problem if you're white. If you're not white, if you're black or Asian, some people might be prejudiced against you. Um, I'm just telling you the truth. Um, the reason for that is either because they're not familiar with black people or Asian people, or they simply don't like these kind of people. I cannot explain why exactly, but that's the reality. If you visit Bulgaria if you visit Bulgaria in a touristy area, you should be fine, because as I mentioned, it's a safer area. If you just travel around the country, um, I I personally didn't have any experience with that, so I cannot tell. Uh, it is safe in general, but just be aware that some people might not be used to other races, and might be you know, kind of looking at you or kind of behaving strangely. Um, just be aware of that. I wouldn't recommend, if you're of any other race, to travel by yourself in outside of tourist areas in Bulgaria. Although, I really I never heard of anybody getting attacked, or I never had any type of this kind of experience. But as a general rule, I think Bulgarians are not as tolerant as Western people in terms of different ethnic backgrounds. And I think that's true of Eastern Europe in general. Um, so just be aware of that. But in general, you might be surprised. Although I said that, some people are very friendly, and in the beginning they might not have met a person from another race, but at the end they might befriend you and become your friend, and accompany you. You never know. But I'm just letting you know to be cautious. um, what else? They built another bridge over the Danube, so you can, if you're coming from somewhere from Western Europe, you can drive. Now it's closer to Sofia, so you can drive through that bridge. It's called New Europe, ironically. Um, or you can fly using one of the budget airlines, or take a bus. um, you know so there are many different options. Let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading new videos periodically, so I'll give out a lot of interesting information. All right, thank you for watching, and take care. Bye.